In fact, I was applying for a secretaryship because I did secretariat back at school. So I was imagining myself to be a secretary, but I couldn't end up being a secretary. I ended up being the CEO of where I am today. I attended Sakasaka Primary, Tamale Secondary, and ended up at Tipole, Tamale Polytechnic then, but now it's Tamale Technical University. No, I attended Tipole by then. I did secretariat, and I ended up being the CEO of Sumaya'S kitchen. You can imagine that wasn't my intention. My mother was also operating the job by helping her mother. By then, me coming to join my mother has already stopped working with the mother. Sometimes my lectures will be 2 o'clock. I will come here, say 6:30. We'll start everything. 12 o'clock we have ended. I'll go home, take my bath, and go to school. And when my lecture is 6, I go to school after 12 a.m. After 6 to 12 p.m., I come back to join them. I'll come at the close of the work. I will be helping them, gathering the bowls around. Those going around to gather bowls, I'll be following them. When there is time for them to go and bring firewood, I'll follow them. At least they'll just give me a log. I asked her how she started. She said she started it in the house. In the house, that she was molding it small, put it in the bowls and carrying it to Nzafi and going around. I think that was the only thing she started with. She started with Nzafi and it was going on well. And later she moved here and started and added the fufu. According to her, those carrying water around selling in drums, small drums, that she will ask them, at the end of the day, how much do you normally earn when you carry water to and from? So that fellow will tell her how much she earns at the day. Then she will beg her. She should desist from going to and from and then help her. At the end, she will give her what she wants.
I'm on the last one, Shankafa. And she in a dan. And Kincham Kwakana Katra is in a Napadima. Can't take your Shankafa, ma. Kakwa Dentocroma. Kakwa Zakuma. And take your Zakuma mark at Pesocoroman. Socoroma Kokanda. No Saturday together. That was on a start. It's a
and then on that, the Antumda. One that the Anacatu Chalaku Quara, be a cat of Quara, or Jirajara. So I can't be on to Malpua, to Pullman Demu, Cote and Dala Gabi. Kajabi, my dada Moxopa. The Venon that I cashier Duro. The Venon that I cashier Duroma, cashier Durongo Babu. She Durongo Babu wants so. Why can't the ma? Can none the hal Zankana into Page. Come by that the Kala, she catching man, Chende. Kazanti, Boni, or Bananga. To about a little left to a marsh and a young silver. And ye malmal la Jarmayana, can yamzim. Come a non concunte, come a zanta tuba, come a money, Nquara, come a million, Jahara, Catora, Nquara. It was all Mangwane, partial and Bella. I can't do a view quiet, Kazana. Kata man and you are in Yulma, Katan Palami, Kalmi Ba, and you are bound on Pala. So those are not can to a shell and Balama. Those are one and the other can lay song the Badjara Jara, and Bakian Taba, and song the Badjara Jara. The young Tuma.
I've been working with Aja for almost 4 years now. And she does her savings every day. So I come to her every day to pick the money from her. But she's such a lovely customer, I just love her. When you come to her and the money is ready, she just gives the money to you. You do your recordings and walk away. If the money too is not ready, she quickly prompts you that the money is not ready. You can go and come back, or don't come back, come the next day or 2 days time. Even when she's about to travel, she will alert you that, oh, I'm traveling. I'll be awake like 2 or 3 days. So check on me on 3 days time or 4 days time.
There was adverts all over. There was you can apply as a secretary. I was applying everywhere. Then one day my mother sat me down and then told me that the tip of a pen is very, very small for us all to be depending on it. So what I have seen in school, or maybe what I have learned back at school, maybe somebody hasn't gotten to that stage, and then maybe that fellow is successful somewhere. I have gotten up to that stage, and it looks as if things are not moving well with me. Why don't I just forget of it and join her? So initially, I thought she didn't like me because we are 10 in number. We are 10, but so I thought she didn't like me, as I was crying all over. All my brothers, all my sisters, they've all schooled, and then it's gotten to me. My mother is advising me this way. What does she mean? So at a point, the last application that I did was, there was an application at fire service. I walked from this place up to fire service. I came, I was tired, and the food got finished. My mother got angry and told me she would not give me food. Well, she asked me to stop that and join her, and I was not in the mood of listening. So it was there I gave up. I said, no, tomorrow being tomorrow, I'm coming out with you. By then, that was somewhere 2002. 2002 that I joined her. When we were together, you know, we were in maybe a team. You have friends all around. All of them are working. All of them are government workers. All of them are government workers. But you are the only person. So you can imagine, you go to somebody's office, at the end of the day, you are leaving that fellow. That fellow, at the end of the month, you'll be taking his money and you will be somewhere. So that was the perception I had. So, and I was also struggling until I ended up here, and I'm very, very comfortable here. I'm regretting because I regretted for not listening to her earlier. Other than that, I don't regret. Other than that, I don't regret at all. At all. Because this place, my family, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have lecturers, we have teachers among us, and we have government workers, bank workers among us. All of them. The 10 of us, including my grandmother, to us 10. You can imagine, like, all of them. This is the place that took care of them up to where they are. I learned a lot from my mother, actually, because while she was doing it, I kept an eye on her. Whatever she does and whatever she says, I always use her tongue to talk. I don't speak from my point of view. I always set her words as example, and then I work with it. Like even when I was to introduce this fufu machine, she asked me that how many people will I employ again? Because those pounding, 6 to 8 people used to pound, and then there is a machine. So do I mean to tell somewhere the 4 or 6 people should be rendered redundant, or why am I bringing in the machine? She didn't have that plan of bringing machine because she wanted everybody to get something small. I told her none of them is going anywhere, because if I introduce that machine, it's the fastness that I want. Supposing it's one person who cleans up, then I'll add one person to the one who cleans, and then the business will move faster. And she said, okay, that is laudable. What my grandmother left was fufu and TZ. My mother and I came to join it, and then we added banku, rice balls to it. And initially, we used to cook rice, plain rice, and then jollof, but that one wasn't moving as we expected, so we have to drop that one. Even there was a time one of my uncles that I told you came around and saw this structure. It was in a glass structure. So she said, no, this is not what they left for me. So for that matter, I should remove the glasses. And that is the structure over there. So I have to take off all the glasses, because here they know it to be local dishes. So if I want to turn it into a continental dish, it will affect me. And that was the advice of one of my uncles, Dr. Mustafa. Education has really helped me a lot here, because sometimes customers may come around and then the dialect that we speak here sometimes is a problem to them. They don't understand what my people say, and my people too don't understand what he says. So sometimes I feel going to school a little bit alongside your business helps. My training as a secretary also helped me in a way for on records keeping. On records keeping here. And sometimes you also go to tell mommy, this is what we should buy when it is in season, and then we'll buy that and put it down. And this is what we should save when it is not around. Then you'll be putting it small, 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 small. If it is in a shortage, you don't lack it. And if it is in abundance, you enjoy it. Right now, as I'm speaking, I have 20 workers. I have 20 workers, all women, and all of them do give birth. And the worst part of it is, the worst, let me use that word worst. When 4 or 3 people give birth at the same time, you know, the work it falls. And then sometimes the managing becomes difficult. You can see somebody working with something like he has 2 jobs. You have to multiply it for her to cover up with the lost ones. And then sometimes to be seated, and then the number will increase again. Yes, everybody wants to work here. Somebody will come that I want Sumaya'S kitchen. I want somebody will be bringing it. And let me tell you one thing. Those of all of us working here, there is no any outsider among us. We are all family. From uncle's daughter to brother's daughter. This is a family business. Let me just put it that way.
Kawe kanchen te kaharna unkuto paangmane karato dibanjurgo damanda ka baneza belenda nyama ka mpaar mana ma halle an kahar mana ma tisa paabo kan ku diane hallen tizan za kurle hallen to sa pumpo mane kan bir ngotra ka mane ka tra chorle la tinu halle ka umdel mproma ko tizanti mbiel kan biel min biel mi la mtumdele ko bami tikala fi kazanti mane Sumaya numoma wo mo so mbumu yo tema.
For now, those are within us. The children here, they are the very people I'm training. They are the very people I'm training. Not necessarily my children coming to take over from me. Not necessarily. Because something like if you happen to raise somebody up, and that fellow, grew up to meet your expectations more than your own children. Why then do you stress yourself on your children? If you know somebody is somewhere willing to help and then dedicate himself to your work, not necessarily your children. Not necessarily your children. Out of this business, my grandmother has educated some of the children, almost all the children. All of them are being educated. I hope to get more of this. I hope to get more of that. But where can I get it? That is the question. Other than that, I'm willing to do more. I'm willing to expand. But for now, I can't tell. My greatest appreciations goes to my customers. Without them, this business wouldn't have lasted up to this extent. So I have no any word than to say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I appreciate all that they're doing, because this is not the only chop bar in town. But looking at things, they like my food. And I'm not being so special because I've taken it over from my grandmother. But I thank God they do come here in their numbers.